Hi.
Hey, Sha'Keia. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I know there's still some people joining us, but we gonna get this thing rolling. So just quick introductions. My name is Lex Lindsay. I'm the Senior Associate of Marketing and Communications for Camelback Ventures. I'm so excited to be launching this new Founder Fridays live series. Looking forward to a dope conversation with Sha'Keia Kegler. She's a 2020 Camelback Fellow, the founder and CEO of GovLia. And I'll just let her do a quick introduction on herself. Let us know, who you are and a little bit about your venture.
Absolutely. I know I hopped in as soon as you start talking about where everyone's located. So I have to shout out Florida. I'm originally born and raised in Florida. So that's originally where I'm from. I ended up, graduating from high school, went to the military and got out and came right back to Florida to start GovLia. So super excited about that. GovLia is a company that focuses on maximizing the impact of supplier diversity programs at state and local government levels. So that's the work that we do. We are a software enabled company. Before I used to just say we're a tech company, but we're a software enabled company because we also a wide variety of the work that we do is also service based. So we'll get into that a little bit later, I think.
Awesome. Where at exactly in Florida are you from? Because I was actually I'm like a digital nomad, so I was actually in St. Pete like a month ago and had been there for about 5 months. Is that where you're from?
Yes.
Okay.
That's so crazy. And the funniest thing is people usually know of Tampa, but they don't know about St. Pete.
Yeah.
So that's why I was so excited. That's
It's kind of like a little gym there. We were really close to the beach. It was beautiful. I miss it. It's a little bit chilly here in Las Vegas where I'm from, but
that's where you're originally from, or that's where you are right now?
That's where I am right now. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So
I have a friend out there, Charity. That's exciting.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. So before we get into the conversation, I just kind of want to ground us in the conversation. Could you please share with us, what are you Ruthless for Good for?
I'm ruthless for increasing access to opportunities. I feel like there are so many opportunities, economic opportunities that we miss out on. And my job in this form, in this life, is to make sure that we have access to those opportunities to better our communities, but also our families. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. Love to hear that. Okay, so we're going to kick off with our first question. What propelled you into the entrepreneurial space and eventually led to you founding GovLia?
Wow. Okay, so I started out in an accelerator program that's local here in Broward, because I'm in Fort Lauderdale area now, so in Broward County. And I went through the program. Initially, be honest, I had no idea what type of business I wanted to start. Mm-hmm. And I started the program with three different business ideas that didn't pan out through market research. And I went to my instructor, and my instructor told me to stick to what you know. So my job, that's a little bit of background in the military, was to purchase products and services on behalf of my department. Mm-hmm. So I'm 19 years old, managing just for my department $400,000 budgets. So that's buying different products, different services. So I understood how that side of the market works. And after I separated, I started working at a company, learning the opposite side, how to sell to the government from that aspect. So when my instructor says, stick to what you know, find a problem in your everyday life and solve that. And that's when I realized, oh, wow, like this is how I can make an impact with this. Yeah. And took that and that's where the idea of GovLia was created.
Okay. Right on. I love that. Stick to what you know. Like, it's such a simple answer, right? Like, yes. You got to fix the problems that are kind of impacting you. And it's like, okay, that's the perfect place to start.
And that's the crazy part, because it's impacting us, we don't see how it's impacting other people on the outside. So, really having that question with you, well, I can't be the only person like dealing with this, as bothered with this. So I think that happens in a lot of different areas, even when it comes down to like, mental health and things like that. A lot of times we feel like we're alone in this situation, but truthfully, we're not. And we just have to see that for what it is. So.
Absolutely. Cool. So I kind of want to touch on like what are you working on now? So, you know, there have been a plethora of challenges we've all been facing over the past few years. You know, the pandemic, systemic racism, other forms of discrimination. And they have been especially challenging, I feel like, for BIPOC leaders and the communities that they serve. So I want to ask, in what ways have you and your venture kind of met those challenges head on and evolved to continue to meet the needs of the communities that you're serving?
Absolutely. I love that question because it really forced us to step away or step back and really analyze the way that we were doing things. So initially starting GovLia, the focus was creating a software platform that would allow small businesses to create one profile one time that they can use to get registered, certified as a woman, minority, veteran, LGBTQ, all of the certifications that apply, and then also bid on different contracting opportunities with multiple government agencies. And that's the software side of it. And we were so focused on the software component, we didn't realize that, wow, like we really have to meet our community where we are. Mm-hmm. So it forced us to go into a mode of capacity building, right? Not only do we need to have the businesses who are ready to go after this opportunity, we need to build those businesses up. So then we increased our we have the software. So that's why we're tech enabled now, because we also have a training portal that teaches businesses how to navigate state and local government process. Yeah. And then on the other end of it, we realized that not only is it the educational aspect, is continuously engaging with our community. Mm-hmm. How are we staying in front of them and educating them? So then we also launched a podcast called Government Coins. Yeah. So it really forced us to focus more on capacity building. Mm-hmm. and meeting our communities where we are, but also building up our communities. So that way, when these opportunities come out, businesses can, these larger businesses or agencies can no longer get a pass by saying, well, there weren't any minority-owned businesses, or we couldn't find a woman-owned business. Like, stop taking that excuse off the table. So it really forced us to look at what we were doing and find ways to expand on that, and really, again, just focus on how do we really do this? Like, do it.
Yes. So you touched on a couple of things, and I really want to tease those out. You mentioned there's this education component. I know that you recently launched the GovLia Academy, and so I just want you to kind of share with the people, like, what is GovLia Academy?
Absolutely. So it is another tech-enabled platform, but it's really just a training portal. And you can log into the portal. There are training videos within the portal where I am literally probably sitting here at this space, walking you through the process of how to register for different agencies, how to find different opportunities, but also there are resources in the platform. So if you need to, a link to find a link to find a letter of explanation. So sometimes if you're responding to a certification and you don't have your documents in place, what you can do is submit a letter of explanation explaining why you don't have it. We have templates of different letter of explanations, templates of capability statements, and then also links for you to find different product or different opportunities. So how to find different contracting opportunities. Okay. So that's what it is right now. And then we're adding in a component of a community connecting aspect. So before, most people, they have a Facebook group or a Slack channel, and we were using Slack, but I just feel like it would be so much more impactful if we have that inside of our community. So we're building that out. And then of course, eventually we're going to license the software out as well. So not only will we be able to do it for GovLia, we want to license it out to others to be able to create, not only educate the community, but have the community work together and build itself. So
Right on. Okay. And then Government Coins, you mentioned, I know that's a new podcast. I think launched that 2021, kind of like towards the tail end of it.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Government Coins podcast?
Listen, I had no idea how much fun podcasting was. I literally, so we started the podcast and it was just an idea. So I had actually presented, there's a huge podcast called Earn Your Leisure. Mm-hmm. And I was on Earn Your Leisure's podcast, and from there, I got a lot of people still hit me up from that podcast interview that I did. Yes. So I was like, wow, okay, maybe this is an avenue, because I see that podcasting is one of the fastest growing mediums, and people really sit down and listen to podcasts. Like I'm listening to podcasts driving around. So we did it, and I partnered with a lady. Her name is Chris Lee, and I actually met her on Instagram. Like that's the crazy thing. I got connected with her on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey, I see we are doing some of the same thing." That's a lesson in collaboration. Let's put that out there.
Okay.
But I connected with her, and I said, "I see we're doing some of the same work. I would love for us to start working on a podcast. Well, I'm thinking of starting this podcast. I would love for you to be a co-host." And she said yes, and from there, we met up. We did for season 1, we did 12 interviews. So it was a combination of businesses, government agencies, and then also we're getting more larger prime contractors for season 2. But the focus was to demystify government contracting and dispel a lot of the myths around, no, this is not the War Dogs movie. Like this is, really dispelling a lot of those myths, but also helping people to understand, like, it's complicated because you're not into it right now, but it's obtainable. Like that's what we do. So we keep the conversation because it can be a very dry subject. Right. We keep it very engaging. We crack jokes. Like it's really laid back and down to earth. And that's why I feel like is missing a lot in that space right now. So I feel like we were able to bring that, and it's been really good. We have geared up so far for the next season. We're already booked through March. Through March for our first episodes, and a lot more government agencies are on board this season. So I'm excited about that.
Can you share who's going to be the next guest, and when is the next episode coming out so people know? Be on the lookout for this good and get them government coin.
Yes. Okay. So our season 2 starts this month and this is really good for the audience, for our Camelback family as well, because the next guest will be from the SBA, and she's going to talk about SBIR and STTR programs. So how to get funding to fund innovative initiatives, for startups and things like that. So that's going to be our next interview. We'll start the new season off. It's going to be on the 27th of January 27th will be that SBA interview. Okay. And our first interview for just introducing our guests will be on the host, because we have one more host this year. His name is Hamza, and he's going to be on the podcast as well. So that one will be out on the 20th. So the 20th and the 27th. We air our podcast on every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. And it's on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We are on all the different podcasts and mediums. Okay.
So no reason for y'all not to be able to tap in. Everywhere. Go check it out.
Everywhere.
Okay. So my next question is how do you see your work advancing racial and gender equity? Just like pushing that forward.
Absolutely. And just taking into account that government agencies are literally the largest customer. With the U.S. government, let me be more specific. The U.S. government is the largest consumer of products and services in the world. Like, not just in the world. Right. So we purchase trillions of dollars. So if this funding is actually outlined to be set aside for small and minority-owned businesses, our mission is to make sure small and minority-owned businesses are getting access to this. So our work plays directly into leveraging procurement as a tool to close the racial wealth gap. And we can do it in multiple different mediums. As you can see during everything that happened with George Floyd, a lot of corporate companies came out and pledged to increase their spending with minority-owned businesses. Government agencies have also vowed to implement different small business and minority-owned business programs into their procurement processes. So that is just a component of that, and that's where we provide a solution to make that transition or that process seamless. That's also tech-enabled.
Yes. Okay, beautiful. All right, so what's next for GovLia? What's happening in 2022 and beyond? Like, what are you working on? What are you excited to launch? What are maybe some ideas that you have that maybe haven't been fully fleshed out yet? What's happening? What's next?
Got it. So for us, 2022, we're focusing on working to not only focus on the state and local level, but to see how we can implement our solution at federal in the federal space as well. So that's one big thing that we're working towards this year, trying to focus more on, you know, at the federal level, and then also get more state and local agencies on board. And then the next one is building partnerships with companies that are in this space as well. For one of them, like we have a partnership with a company called OpenGov. So because we focus on the supplier diversity component, OpenGov is a e-procurement solution. So they advertise and you can receive bids electronically. So through our partnership, those opportunities are automatically fed into our platform for the minority-owned businesses to see. So what we want to do in 2022 is expand that form of partnership to get more access, like more opportunities available on the platform as well. Mm-hmm. And then the work that we're doing with the Academy and government coins, and just to get the word out and continue to educate the community. So that's what we'll stick with that for now, and possibly expanding into different areas. Like we focus on the government now, but we have also been considering using the platform in different spaces. Like we said, the corporate space, and then also, you know, entertainment and sports. Since you know, you think about Super Bowl, every time Super Bowl comes around, they pledge to work with local businesses. Yeah. Well, this is a way to build a regional digital marketplace to access these businesses. So, you know, that's what we're doing now, exploring new avenues.
That you mentioned the Super Bowl, and that is something that we might need to connect with you on. Connect with you on that. So I have a question. You know, we mentioned that you're a 2020 Camelback Fellow. And so I wanted to ask, what has Camelback Ventures meant to you personally and to your venture?
I will say this. I have not encountered any other organization, and I've been through a number of different accelerator programs, different programs just in general. And I'm not saying this just because I'm on talking to you. Like, I literally mean this. Like, there's been no other organization that I've been able to engage with and truly connect with, and that actually care the way that the Camelback team does. But also, it doesn't feel as if you have to impress anyone. It's like everyone's here to, like, we're trying to grow together. Like, our focus is, so I've always felt like at home and comfortable with that, and just able to be myself. And, you know, sometimes when you're in different spaces, is, what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but you have to act a certain way or present yourself a certain way. So that type of situation. And then on top of that, they had there was something going on. I can't remember where. And it's fun. Like, they are so open to helping you with connections, funding. Like, I really love the Camelback Ventures team, even the founders. Like, you can reach out to any of the founders and they're open to, like, working together and help. And it's just, I don't know, again, I haven't experienced that a lot in the startup space. So I'm extremely grateful and appreciative for that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we're very, very honored to have you as part of the Camelback fam, just to support you and your business. So it's been an honor for sure. My last question, this is more of a fun one. What do? You have a lot going on. You're working on, you know, GovLia, just your venture, working on GovLia Academy. You're doing the Government Coins podcast. I think I saw recently that you just got your real estate license.
Yes.
Right on. So you have a lot going on. What do you do to practice self-care? Like, you know, it's just so busy. How do you stay rested and motivated to continue doing the work that you're doing?
Wow. I will say that I take the time when I feel like I need to. Sometimes we ignore the signs, and the moment, you know, I've been able to realize and understand when it's happening. But I try to do things that I enjoy. And for me, like, my enjoyment comes from being around people. Like, my family, my friends, like, I do things that I enjoy that it just so happens to include the people around me. And then also, like, I do things that I enjoy. I like to skate, so I do things that I enjoy. And sometimes when it's a space where I need to really decompress, journaling has become something that I do, even just jotting down my thoughts, like
Yeah.
brain dumping. It is because it's going crazy, like constantly. So brain dumping, I've began the practice of brain dumping as well. And I enjoy the creative process. So sometimes just sitting down, like thinking of ideas and like that's the type of stuff that I enjoy. So when it's time for me to, I feel like I need that space, I give myself that opportunity. So
Right on. Yes. Well, I mean, we all, especially for the past couple of years, we've all had self-care key, y'all. Self-care is key. You have to take care of yourself. You can't
yeah.
show your authentic self. You're, ready to do what it is that you need to do if you don't take care of yourself first. So thank you for sharing your self-care practices. Before we get out of here, can you just let us know, where can people connect with you online? Where can we learn more about GovLia Academy if they want to sign up, and subscribe to the podcast?
Absolutely. So always on Instagram as well. You can connect with me at GovLia on Instagram. Even on the website, it's govlia.com. You'll see more information on the website about the podcast, about the academy. The podcast is on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and you type in government coins, we will come up. Okay, we will come up. And then also on Spotify, Apple Music, any of the podcasting mediums that you utilize, we are on those mediums. So we have 12 episodes from season 1. You can go ahead, get caught up, and get ready for season 2 to come out, and that's pretty much where we are right now. If you're interested in just connecting with me as well, you could always send me an email as well. My email was my first name, Sha'Keia at GovLia.com. So
Right on. Well, Sha'Keia, thank you so much for being our first guest on the Founder Fridays live series. This conversation has been fire. I hope all of our listeners were able to get a couple nuggets out there. Don't forget to connect with Sha'Keia on Instagram at GovLia. Check out the GovLia Academy. Check out the Government Coins podcast, y'all. She's dropping nuggets of wisdom on there. Just thank you again. Thank you for everybody that tapped in. We look forward to hosting more of these conversations with our Camelback fam, and be on the lookout for us.
And I just want to say thank you to Camelback for having me and continuously pouring into myself and the work that we're doing. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to you, to Nia. I'll do a whole shout out right now. Charles. Just everyone. So I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate that.